There are two ways to run containers in production. One takes a weekend to learn. The other takes one command. This is the whole setup. You type Docker Swarm init, and you have a real cluster. That is it. Here is the same app in both worlds. Docker Swarm, 27 lines. Kubernetes, over 170. 82% of teams now run Kubernetes in production. And my honest take, most of them never needed it. Because Kubernetes is not one thing. It is 6 separate moving parts that you now have to operate yourself. Docker Swarm, it is already inside Docker. There is nothing extra to install. Nothing. And no, Swarm is not dead. Mirantis is shipping security patches for it all the way through 2030. GlaxoSmithKline runs it. MetLife runs it. The Royal Bank of Canada runs it. In production, right now. Meanwhile, Managed Kubernetes charges you $72 a month per cluster before you deploy a single container. So here is the plan. The trap, the one command alternative, and the cases where Kubernetes genuinely wins. Let me be fair to Kubernetes first, because it is genuinely brilliant engineering. When people say it is complex, here's what they actually mean. The control plane alone is 4 programs, an API server out front, a database called etcd holding the entire cluster state, a scheduler deciding where things run, and a controller manager running the control loops. Then every single worker node adds a kubelet and a network proxy. That is 6 moving parts you now operate, and each one fails in its own creative way. And none of that is a mistake. It is precisely what lets Kubernetes scale to thousands of nodes across an entire company without falling over. But you pay for that ceiling on day one, even if your whole world is 3 servers behind a load balancer. It is buying a Boeing 747 to pick up groceries. The plane is incredible. Your trip is 2 miles. Then there is the vocabulary, and it never stops. Pods, deployments, replica sets, services, config maps, ingress, secrets, stateful sets, daemon sets, namespaces. Before you ship a single feature, you are memorizing an entire dialect just to describe the app you already understood perfectly this morning. And here is what that abstraction actually costs you. Take a plain web service and its database. In a Docker Compose file, that is about 27 readable lines that a new hire understands at a glance. The equivalent in raw Kubernetes YAML is over 170. Separate deployments, services, config maps, and ingress rules, all for a task you could describe out loud in one short sentence. And writing it once is the easy part. Then comes day 2, forever. Someone has to upgrade the cluster every few months before the version falls out of support, rotate the TLS certificates, take regular etcd backups, and patch every node. That work genuinely never ends, and not 1 minute of it ships value to a customer. It is rent you pay just to keep the lights on, and when it breaks at the worst possible time, welcome to the rabbit hole. A pod is stuck in crash loop backoff, so you describe the pod, scroll the events, tail the logs, check the service, inspect the ingress, then question the DNS. 45 minutes later, the culprit is a single mistyped label in a YAML file. If you run Kubernetes, you have lived this exact night. Now let us talk money, because this is where it stings. On Amazon EKS, every cluster costs $72 a month just to exist. Run separate dev, staging, and production clusters like a responsible team, and you are at $219 a month with 0 containers actually running. Let a version fall behind into extended support, and that fee alone climbs past $1,300. And that is before a bite of real traffic. Cross-zone data transfer and NAT gateways quietly stack another 20 to 40% on the bill. The control plane fee is the number they put on the pricing page. The actual number is the one that ambushes you on the last day of the month. Now, Managed Kubernetes does help, and roughly 2/3 of new projects sensibly start there. But it only lifts the control plane off your shoulders. You still write every line of YAML, still tune the autoscalers, still wire the networking, still get paged at 2 in the morning. The complexity does not disappear, it just quietly changes address. So now watch the other path, because the contrast is almost funny. Take any Linux box you already have and type one line, Docker Swarm init. That machine is instantly a manager. Copy the join command it prints, run it on a second box, and you have a real 2-node cluster with encrypted communication. Minutes, not a weekend, and nothing new to download because it was already there. And to deploy, you reuse the Docker Compose file you almost certainly already have. Type docker stack deploy, point it at that file, and your app is live across the cluster. The exact same YAML that runs on your laptop is the YAML that runs in production. No translation layer, no second format, no rewrite. Your local setup just got a lot bigger. Under the hood, it stays refreshingly boring, and boring is a feature. Manager nodes and worker nodes agree on the cluster state using the Raft consensus algorithm. There is no external database to babysit, and no fleet of proxies to run. The whole orchestrator lives inside the Docker daemon you already run and already trust with everything. And crucially, you are not trading features for that simplicity. Rolling updates that roll back on failure, service discovery by name, encrypted secrets, an encrypted overlay network between nodes, health checks, and a built-in load balancer all ship inside the box. No add-ons to install, no operators to manage, no Helm charts to maintain. It is included, not assembled. The routing mesh is the part one love most. Publish a service on a port, and every node in the entire cluster listens on that port. A request can hit any machine, even one not running your container, and Swarm quietly forwards it to a healthy copy wherever it lives. You get cluster-wide load balancing without configuring a single thing, and it heals itself without you watching. Kill a container, and within seconds Swarm notices the count is wrong and starts a fresh one to match what you declared. Lose an entire node, and every task it was running reschedules onto the survivors automatically. You describe the end state once. Swarm spends the rest of its life keeping reality matched to it. And here's the receipt that makes people uncomfortable. One operator runs 24 containers across 2 continents on 2 tiny VPS boxes that cost $83 a year. Each, not a month, a year. Go price that same highly available setup on managed Kubernetes and then try to keep a straight face reading the invoice. Scaling is one line too. Type Docker service scale web equals 5, and a heartbeat later you have 5 copies spread across your nodes. No horizontal pod autoscaler, no metric server, no custom resource definitions to install and debug first. The command you would naively guess is, delightfully, the exact command that works. The whole mental model fits on a sticky note. Init a cluster, deploy a stack, scale a service. 3 verbs. Compare that to the sprawl of kubectl subcommands and 1,000-line Helm templates you keep a browser tab open for. Fewer concepts is not a limitation here. On a small team, it is the entire point. And if you want a dashboard, Pertainer hands you a clean web UI over the whole cluster from a single container. Yes, the ecosystem is smaller than Kubernetes, but the specific pieces a small team actually reaches for, deploys, updates, secrets, and monitoring are all sitting right there, ready. So if Swarm is this pleasant, why did Kubernetes utterly win the mindshare? Be honest about the history. Google open sourced it in 2014, straight out of a decade-running Borg at planet scale. Then every cloud built a managed version, every job posting listed it, and it quietly became the safe resume choice. Nobody ever got fired for picking Kubernetes. And the other half of the honesty is that Swarm stopped evolving. Mirantis keeps it patched and stable, but what you run today is essentially the same product from 2022. It is rock solid and going nowhere new, while Kubernetes shipped a new feature every quarter and pulled the whole industry along behind it. So it does have real gaps, and I will not pretend otherwise. There is no auto-scaling on custom metrics like queue depth or request latency. The ecosystem is far smaller, and most new monitoring, security, and storage tools now get built Kubernetes first, sometimes Kubernetes only. Pick Swarm and you are standing a little outside that fire hose of innovation, and it was never actually a binary choice, which people forget. If you genuinely outgrow Swarm, but the full Kubernetes stack still feels like swatting a fly with a car, there is a middle. K3s is a certified Kubernetes that fits in one small binary. HashiCorp Nomad orchestrates containers and plain old binaries with a single agent. The spectrum has more than 2 points on it, so here's the honest line on Kubernetes itself. If you truly need custom metric autoscaling, fine-grained access control across many teams, advanced scheduling, or a compliance auditor who literally writes the word Kubernetes into the contract, then reach for it and use a managed one. That is the exact problem it was designed and priced to solve, but be brutally realistic about how many teams that describes, maybe 15%. The other 85 are running a handful of services on a handful of machines, paying a heavy, ongoing complexity tax for a scale they are honestly never going to reach. And that is the whole trap, right there. It was never that Kubernetes is bad. It is that we grabbed the tool built for Google-sized problems to run a blog and 2 APIs, wired ourselves to it, and then started calling the pain a rite of passage instead of a bad fit. So carry 4 numbers out of this: 82% adoption. 27 lines of compose against 170 of YAML, $72 per cluster every single month, and official support all the way through 2030. That is the case on one hand. Kubernetes is not the enemy here. It is just aimed squarely at a problem most of us simply do not have yet and might never have. Match the tool to your real scale instead of the scale on the conference stage, and for most teams the right answer is boring, simple, and already installed on the machine. Simple scales a lot further than the internet wants you to believe. Go build something. I will see you in the next one.